Hello, my name is Adrian Stevens. In this video we're going to look at recording for Librivox and marking mistakes. So in the Librivox magic window you see that I have got an assignment which is called Cheese Part 2, 4,000 plus words, starting with this absence of potash. There is a link to the book in the top of the post here. I right-click on that to open the book, and I've opened the HTML version. I can do a search for absence of potash. There's one of those occurring. So we found the part to read, and it goes down to the end of the chapter about cheese, so we can find the end easily enough. So I'm not going to read all of this, I'm just going to read the first paragraph. So when you're ready to read, get the microphone position correct. I've got another video on that topic. Set the recording level, so let's bring up Audacity. Click to start monitoring, test, somewhere around -12, perhaps a bit louder. Test, 1, 2, 3, 4. Test, a bit louder. Test, yeah, that will do. Start it recording and put that window where it won't distract. We then start with reading the required prologue. So we're section 10. Section 10 of The Chemistry of Cookery. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please... Right, okay, so let's do some explaining here. I made a mistake there in the prologue, and if I've said this phrase hundreds of times, so I could do better. And instinctively I did. Well, this is not because I've got a horse that I'm on and I want to move more quickly. This is because I need to mark the mistake. So let's stop what we were doing and have a look in Librivox. We're going to start this all over again. If we do full scale, you can see that the peaks come up roughly to 0.5. They're a little bit low, but 0.5 is the recommended level, and we'll fix the final volume level in post-production. But you see these two spikes. I'm going to control mouse wheel to scroll, and I have marked the mistake. So control F again to show the whole window. On this display it's very plainly clear where the mistakes occurred. So let's kill that and start again. Section 10 of The Chemistry of Cookery. This is a Librivox recording, or I did it again. Okay, this is going very well. This is because the camera's watching me. When you make a mistake, you can take a pause, because you can delete silence. The silence costs you nothing. You can think about what you did wrong and how to pronounce it. We'll perhaps have a better example of that later. Take a breath, just relax yourself, and then start again. Oh, and do the marker. Some people clap. I find it easier just to click. Section 10 of The Chemistry of Cookery. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. Recording by Adrian Stevens. The Chemistry of Cookery by W. Matthew Williams. Cheese, Part 2. This absence of potash appears to me to be the one serious objection to the free use of cheese diet. The Swiss peasant escapes the mischief by his abundant salads, which, eaten raw, contain all their potash salts, instead of leaving the greater part in the saucepan, as do cabbages, etc., when cooked in boiling water. Now, there, I got the phrasing wrong, because the when cooked in boiling water needs to follow on. So, as you're reading, give a thought to where the flow is. Now, if I've made a mistake, I need to think about how far to go back. Usually a punctuation sign, such as a comma, is a place where you actually took a breath or made a little pause, and that's the natural place to actually go back, so that the edit can be made without being obvious. So in this case, I'll go back to as do cabbages, I think. As do cabbages, etc., when cooked in boiling water. In Norway, where salads are scarce, the bonde and his houseman have at times suffered greatly from scurvy, especially in the far north, and would be severely victimised but for special remedies that they use. Okay, so there I stumbled because I was thinking about how to distinguish the text in parentheses. There probably is no point trying to distinguish this, so I just carry on. So I need to go back. So probably and would be severely victimised, but for the... Now this is another thing. Once you make a mistake, you make more mistakes, and sometimes it takes 4 goes to get a sentence that you almost did right the first time, because you're getting worse and worse before you get better and better. So let's start again from and would be severely victimised but for special remedies that they use, the mott beer, cranberry, etc., grown and preserved especially for the purpose. The Laplanders make a broth of scurvy grass and similar herbs. I have watched them gathering these and observed that the wild celery was a leading ingredient. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording there. So I would then read the end bit, end of section 10. End of section 10. And finally I left a silence part. Switching to waveform dB, we get a view of the amount of noise in the environment, and this visually doesn't look too bad. I have a video specifically on the topic of noise reduction, and this is usually a routine part of your post-processing. So we've completed the reading, and now we're going to save the project. In the topic under the magic window is an example file name, and you have to follow this pattern for the MP3 file. I also follow this pattern for the project file so that it gets named the right thing automatically when I save it as an MP3 file. So I do save project. I'm going to paste in this. We were section 10. And because I've already got a section 10 that I've completed, I'm going to put 10 test to avoid overwriting it. And there we are done. We're now ready to post-process this. If you're new to recording and you think to yourself, why would I make mistakes? Well, please believe me, we all do make mistakes. Perhaps on a short poem you're not going to make mistakes, but for anything that is of non-trivial length you will make mistakes, and you need to get into the routine of reading, marking your mistakes, composing yourself, carrying forward. The composing yourself might be to practice. You can stop and practice a line. So for example, say I've got problems with the pronunciation of a word. I've done the following reading and would be severely victimised but for the special remedies that they use, the Motbeer. The Motbeer cranberry, so that you compose yourself, you think about what you're going to say, particularly if you've got to read foreign names or words in a foreign language. You need to take time to practice in your mind so that when you say it, it rolls off the tongue fluently. Well, I hope this video has been interesting. In the next video, we'll look at processing the file that we just recorded. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.